If a man cheats, people will have the audacity to say that the woman did not provide the man what he needed. He cheated. The standards that are set for women, girls, are not the same that are set for men and boys. But it's like, even from youth, you're already being taught that if men mistreat you, you should be understanding. You shouldn't be upset about it. At least you're getting attention. At least they like you.
She said her favorite color yellow. It looked good on her dress. Trying to be slim, thick, nothing less. But she's falling in and out of love. Her heart was broken.
I'm already tired and I'm not even talking about them yet. Assalamualaikum everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sawdatou, aka Bint Fatimah. And if you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're returning, thank you so much for subscribing. So I think the title is going to be something along the lines of men aren't trash, but society tells them they can be, so then they do be trash. Recently, I don't want to say I've been on a man-hating rampage, because it's not like I'm going around cursing all men out. I haven't been like man-bashing all over the place, but in the house I am raging all the time and just yelling all the time about how men make me tired and upset. So I thought, why not put it in a video, so that way other people can rage and be angry and upset with me. That's not the actual reason why, but it's just because I feel like I've come to a couple epiphanies, I guess, about men and society, and I just want to talk about it because my channel's a place where I can discuss things that I care about, and this is something that I care about. So I want to first start out by saying that on behalf of all women, I think all women will collectively agree with me when I say we're tired, we're exhausted. Where do I even start? I feel like I've talked about this before in a video, and if I haven't, I will be making a video about this, like a separate video about the things that women have to go through that just makes us very exhausted. One of which being that there are so many standards that are set on us by society in terms of what we're supposed to be like, what we're supposed to know, what we're supposed to act like, how we're supposed to carry ourselves. But I don't feel that that same pressure or those same standards are set for men. And this is across religions, across cultural groups, across countries, across neighborhoods around the world. It's just like the standards that are set for women, girls, are not the same that are set for men and boys. And I think that is part of the reason why I've gotten so tired, is because whenever I think about it, it's like, at least if the standards were equally as oppressive, then I'd be like, okay, we're all struggling as humanity. But no, like, women have it hard, and we've had it hard for centuries. I remember one time my mom and I were having a conversation, and my mom used to really love watching like documentaries and things like that. May Allah have mercy on her soul, Ameen. And she was telling me how, like, in Europe there was a time when Europeans actually questioned if women were human. Like, they thought women were demons or devils or something. And I remember being so confused, because I was like, but they gave birth to you who are the men. So if they're demons, by default, you too are a demon or a devil? I don't know. Anyway, the reason why I brought that up is just because, like, I feel like from as long as time has been, women have just been hated on, so many things have just been put on us that we didn't ask for. We didn't even do nothing to y'all. We feel so much pressure from so many different angles as to how we're supposed to carry ourselves, what we're supposed to be like, what we're supposed to know, what we're supposed to do and not do. There's so many supposed to's for women, but I don't think society holds men to that same standard. And like I said, this is across religions, across cultures, across neighborhoods, across ages. It's everywhere. Aside from observing throughout my life how women have been set to certain standards that men haven't, another thing that I've noticed recently is, like, when I reevaluate even relationship advice that I have given to other people, it's always from the perspective of women needing to do better, or women needing to accommodate for men's deficiencies. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is just because, like, I'm on Instagram a lot of times, and my algorithm shows me what it is that I liked. And I think a couple months ago I was liking a lot of relationship advice related things that would, like, tell women, don't let yourself get played, don't do this if you want to avoid a man cheating on you, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right? So now I see these things pop up on my feed, and I'm just like, I disagree. Even when it comes from women, I disagree. I don't think women need to do anything to be better at relationships. This is not to say collectively as a whole women are perfect and they have no flaws whatsoever, but I think that the scale has been on one side where women are always told what they can do to be better spouses, better mothers, better daughters, better students, better everything, better human beings. But I don't think men are given those same tips and advice. And so the scale is tipped, okay? It is uneven in terms of what women hear, in terms of what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to improve versus men as a whole, men and boys. So I'll start out from just like youth, for example. When I was in elementary school, if a little boy was bullying me, like literally bullying me, like saying mean things to me, picking on me, pushing me around, whatever, it was always, oh, it's okay, he likes you, that's why he's doing that. Instead of telling the little boy, stop bullying, it's like, no, you should understand, he has feelings for you, that's why he's being mean to you, that's why he's picking on you. Hello, girl, understand, make sense of it in your head, dude. Don't take it so seriously. And I remember even in elementary school, there was a girl in my 5th grade who she had transferred new, super cute, we became really good friends, and all the guys wanted, I guess, something with her because she was cute, but she didn't like the attention that they were giving her. She didn't like them being too close to her. So she went and told the teacher, these guys won't leave me alone. And then they all labeled her as a snitch. Everybody didn't want to hang around her because she couldn't understand that they just liked her. But it's like, even from youth, we're in freaking 5th grade. We're no more than 10 years old. You're already being taught that if men mistreat you, you should be understanding. If men do things you don't like, you should be understanding. You shouldn't go and tell anyone. You shouldn't be upset about it. At least you're getting attention. At least they like you. And it's just like, how that make sense? Why don't we teach little boys to express their emotions more clearly? Why don't we teach them to be more articulate about how they feel rather than teaching little girls to deal with being bullied? So it starts from youth. It starts from a young age where if you're being bullied, pushed around, like literally physically hurt by a little boy, you're told, oh no, it's because he likes you. Just deal with it. But why? I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be hurt. Also, I think society teaches little boys from a very young age that they're not allowed to be expressive about their emotions. That the only emotions that they are allowed to show is anger and indifference. Fight me in the comment sections if you disagree. Anger and indifference are the only two feelings men, boys, little kid, what they're allowed to show. So when they're sad, when they're upset, when they're confused, when they're happy, when they're anything else, don't show it too much. You're a man. When they're like 3 years old. So I think that needs to change. Society needs to make it equal for both men and women, boys and girls, to be able to express themselves clearly. Because if you're not expressing your emotions, they're here, bottling up, and then one day they're going to explode. Or you're going to become a person who ignores your own feelings, which is not a healthy thing. I'm no psychologist, but I just feel like it is very unhealthy to hide your emotions or to not be able to express your emotions clearly. So from youth, little girls are allowed to scream and shout and cry and be upset. They're allowed to be happy. They're allowed to be confused. They're allowed to be scared. All of these emotions. But little boys are not given that same expressive free way, which makes no sense because guess what? We're both human. And this is another argument, and I'm digressing. I am totally digressing, but I feel like the Western world came up with these gender roles, with these gender norms, and then now all of a sudden they're trying to retract it, and it's a little too late. It's a little too late because these have been here for centuries, and now people are already influenced by how these norms are set into place, how little boys and little girls are supposed to act, what they're supposed to do, what they're supposed to like, how they're supposed to express themselves. It's too late. You've done the damage. Now we need to undo the damage by first acknowledging that y'all put these gender roles and these gender norms in place. So then past youth, cool, they're past their youth and we've already been indoctrinated to normalize certain things per certain genders. Certain behaviors are allowed for little boys. They're allowed to be physically aggressive. They're allowed to do a lot of different things, but expressing certain emotions are not allowed. So then we get into the territory of an age where maybe we're like teenagers and we're super confused. We don't know what the heck we're doing. We don't know what's going on in life. We don't know how we're feeling, what we're saying, what we're going through. But whereas I feel like little girls or teenage girls You've already learned how to express yourself emotionally. You've already learned how to express yourself verbally, communicate with other people how you're feeling, what's going on internally. When you are confused, it's easier for you to go and confide in somebody and talk to them about what it is you're confused about, because you have the vocabulary for it, because you've had years of having training for it, versus little boys who don't have that. So then you're a teenage boy who you might have certain emotions that you need to talk about. You have certain experiences that you need to talk about, but you don't get to do that. And even in your friend groups, it's not encouraged. It's not encouraged to talk about your feelings. It's not encouraged to talk about things that are confusing you, that are making you sad, that are making you depressed, that are making you however it is that you're feeling. You haven't been given the approval to act like a human being, to be a human being. You're only supposed to be a man. But then down the line, so then let's say when men get into relationships, romantic relationships specifically, I'm going to talk about, and then I'll talk about other relationships as well, but specifically romantic relationships. When men are in romantic relationships, if they already haven't had the experience as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, to communicate their emotions, to express themselves, it's going to be difficult to be able to do that with somebody who you're in a relationship with. You're supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be communicating with them. You're supposed to be talking about your emotions, what you're going through, how you're feeling, all that kind of stuff. But if you haven't had the practice, how do you do it, right? But that's not where things end, because I am a woman who hasn't always been able to communicate my feelings, express myself, be open. No, I'm not perfect. But I think whereas women are given the leeway, I don't know what the word is, or there maybe the encouragement to improve upon themselves. Sometimes it's not even encouragement, it's chastisement to improve upon themselves, because you're a woman, you should know better. You should be doing better in relationships. Men aren't given that same amount. That energy isn't given to them when it comes to them not doing as well in relationships. So when a man is not communicative in a relationship, the woman should be able to read his mind. Come on, sis, read his mind. Do it. Am I magical? Am I a unicorn? I'm dressed like one, but no, I'm not. I don't have magical powers. I'm human. Anyway, but when men mess up in relationships, be it that they're not communicating enough, be it that they're expressing too much anger or too much impatience or whatever it may be, women are supposed to make up for those deficiencies. You, the woman in the relationship, should know to be able to deal with his impatience. You should know to be able to soothe his anger. You should be the ice on his anger. That's your job as a woman. Come on. You should be the one to accommodate for his shortcomings. And when he wrongs you, be it that he cheats on you, he hurts you verbally, physically, emotionally, however, you're supposed to just pick up the pieces and keep it pushing, sis. But why aren't we talking to the men to do better? Why are we asking the men to learn to express themselves better, to communicate better? Why aren't we talking to men to not act like they are trash? Society tells them though, but if you act like trash, it's okay. The women will clean it up. They'll come and they'll sweep it all up. Make a mess. Do your worst. Do your worst. Women are meant to absorb all that negativity and just keep it pushing. But how does that make sense? Like literally I'm trying to keep myself from screaming, but none of that makes sense. I don't know if it's toxic masculinity or whatever the heck you want to call it. It needs to end. And I think it starts with men speaking to other men. For the men that if the shoe don't fit, if you watching this video and the shoe don't fit, go talk to the men who the shoe does fit. The men who don't know how to communicate. The men who blame their women for their shortcomings and their deficiencies in romantic relationships. But what I've noticed as well, and the reason why I'm saying if the shoe doesn't fit, go talk to the people who the shoe does fit, is that the men who do learn to become more emotionally intelligent, who do learn to express themselves more clearly, who do learn how to function better in romantic relationships, they don't want any parts with the men who aren't doing that. Even if it's their friend, their brother, their neighbor, their twin, they will not correct them. But why? And then it's our job as women to correct these men. When a man doesn't know how to act, when he mistreats a woman, people blame that man's mother. Why didn't his mother teach him better? Why haven't the men around him who he grew up around, who are friends with him, who he hangs out with, why aren't they correcting him? Women do it all the time. We correct our friends, we correct our sisters, we correct our cousins, whoever it may be. Why is it that men aren't held to that same standard to push each other to do better? Anyway, I don't know what the solution is. I really don't know what the solution is, but I'm just venting my frustrations. And I'm hoping that any man who watches this will share this with a friend and have meaningful discussions about this. Stop blaming women for your deficiencies. Stop expecting women to pick up the slack where men have literally let us down, have literally disappointed us, have literally stopped acting like they're human beings. So aside from romantic relationships, I think men's roles as fathers, as brothers, cousins, whatever, sometimes they also fail in those roles because, again, with this toxic masculinity, you're not supposed to express emotions in a certain way. You're not supposed to be soft. You're not supposed to be sensitive, which I will literally yell. Being sensitive is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It is normal. Being sensitive just means you are in tune with your emotions. But men are discouraged from being emotional, from being sensitive, from being nurturing and all of these things. So then in relationships, for example, like fathers might not be as warm and loving or might not be as talkative to their children as they have the ability to do, or they don't try to learn it. And like I said, and I'm not saying this, like I already said this, I'm not saying this to say women are so perfect. We're not. But I think that because of all the pressures that are put on us by society, all the pressures that are put on us by both men and women, because there are a lot of women who have internalized this societal misogyny that has existed for centuries. And so they push that on us as well. All of those pressures force us to always be watching ourselves every step of the way. We're always trying to improve ourselves because even if we don't want to, someone is telling us we should. But I think that same energy should be given to men. Tip the scale a little bit more. Reduce the misogyny a little bit and acknowledge that men too have a role to play in the problems that exist in this world. Relationship problems, they have a role to play in it. If a man cheats, people will have the audacity to say that the woman did not provide the man what he needed. He cheated, but it's her fault. If a man leaves a woman, she did not give him what he wanted. She didn't meet his standards. Or he's scared of commitment, or he doesn't want to take any responsibility. Like, can we just be honest and just give women a little bit of a break, just a little bit? We're already dealing with a lot, just a little bit. Just reduce it just a little bit. Just a tiny, come on, just a little bit. But yeah, that is my rant. I'm not going to apologize if this video made no sense. I just need to get that off my chest. I'm actually on the road to 10,000 subscribers. I always forget to say it, but here I go. So please click on that subscribe button. Also hit on the bell notification so that way you can be notified every single time that I post. Do it gently. Don't break your computer and then come to me and complain that I told you to smash it. I said do it gently. Okay? Like this video if you like it. Leave me comments down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one, inshallah. Assalamualaikum. Peace and love. Bye bye.
Little bit too conscious, little bit too emotional. Cry your heart out. Let me know what's going on. I'll make you feel mellow.